Yo, what up? Welcome to the first ever live Rat Avenger League weekly preview. No idea how this looks, sounds, feels. I don't even know if anybody's here. I think I picked the one time of the week when when everybody's busy. So whatever. If it looks like shit, sounds like shit, smells like shit, it's probably shit. But it's a little late in the afternoon, and when you start talking about like recording time and upload time, I wanted to avoid all that and get it out for the people. And I've always kind of wanted to do it this way, but haven't really had the opportunity to do it. Oh, John is here. What's up, dude? Yeah, whatever. We got a chance to like live react instead of just commenting like 2 hours later. Anyway, welcome to week 7. This is gonna be the halfway point of the season after this week, which is disgusting to say. I'm sorry to even bring it up and to it, but it's the passage of time. It's debilitating, it's demoralizing, and the good news is we're that much closer to next year's draft because nobody's happy with their team. I don't feel like. Anyway, so the top 2 in the standings this week, no movement. So I got Cam up there sitting at number 1 even after taking the loss. We got Wade at number 2, has now won 4 games in a row after starting 0-2. So he's on a big come up. Dawson moves back up into 3rd place. We have John in 4th and Clay in 5th place. Now all of those people are 4-2. So we have 5 people at 4-2. We have 2 at 3-3, myself and Andrew. Andrew is winning the tiebreaker on points. We haven't played each other yet. We actually play each other this week. So you would imagine the winner there is going to be your jumped into the playoff picture. I haven't looked at exactly how the other games are going to affect that, but then we get into our 2 and 4s. We got Tim in 8th place at 2 and 4. Charlie in 9th place also at 2 and 4. There was a while where they were 2 of our leading scorers. That is no longer the case. Charlie has fallen to our eighth leading scorer. I guess leading is a bad word there. The 8th place in scoring. Tim has dropped to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So it was really funny. It is still really funny that Cameron is the 9th highest scorer in the league and is in 1st place. And then we have Raleigh. Yeah, man. I get like it's bad. Although he made a big trade this week. Was it this week or was it last week? Was it last week he made that big trade? I guess I can just go click on this transactions button and fucking see. Where was it? It was October 9th, which doesn't help me. Last week. So last week he made the big trade, and actually put together a pretty good week just for it to not matter. Yeah, man, it's a tough season. Yikes. I do feel bad. That shit sucks. It's just demoralizing to have to watch every week, and you gotta watch because it's football and it's the fucking best. Anyway, whatever, dude. Let's go ahead and flip over to the wheel. Let's see. Last week, we had. Oh, I won. Smallest margin of defeat. Talked about it a little bit, but it was kind of a nice win. Normally that's a very hard one to stomach. It's a very tough one to take in, because it usually means you're right on the cusp of winning. I never in a million years did I have a chance to win. I mean, I guess I did. Derrick Henry scores that touchdown and Chase McLaughlin kicks that one field goal and I win. But like, I'd given up at like 1 p.m. on Sunday. That was more about Clay's team shitting the fucking bed on Monday night than it was about my team performing well and coming up just short. Anyway, here's the wheel. Let's see what we got this week. Lowest scoring starter. There have been this might be the most competitive wheel we've seen all year. It feels like every single week we're getting guys scoring 2-3 points. I know I've had it a couple times with some really bad wide receiver plays and Derrick Henry disappointing me. We had, week 1 when Cameron had Xavier Worthy tear his shoulder out of place on the second play of the game So yeah, I mean that's gonna be nice and fun and competitive. Um, yeah. Anyway, let's talk about some fucking games, man. Let me pull back up because I accidentally clicked the wrong button. I don't know why like I thought going live would have any different effect than it did. Like just recording these and uploading it, as if I do any type of editing or it would have any type of like interaction in the chat. Like I was, yeah. So I don't know why I thought this would be different and kill the vibes. I should just be doing this all the time just to avoid upload times. And I might start doing that. And actually next week, I'm on vacation and I'm not going anywhere. I'm doing a staycation, so I'll probably do this at like 10 a.m. next Thursday or Wednesday, whenever. I don't know. I might just go live every fucking day, just chat with the boys, talk about football. And that would be a good time, except for Monday. I have to go to the dentist. And I have to get up at like 3 a.m. to take bitch boys to the airport. Fuck it, maybe I'll go live from the car at 3 a.m. Y'all set your alarms. Anyway, I talked about it. I play Andrew this week. We're both at 3-3. We're fighting for what would be the last playoff spot. Obviously, there's a lot of season left. Andrew, one of the scarier teams in the league. I think is our leading scorer right now, if I remember correctly. In fact, if I just flip over here and sort by points for it, yep, is our leading scorer this week. Now we got good news, bad news situation with Andrew. Good news for me, Puka likely not playing this week. High ankle sprain. They got a game in London. I think they got a bye next week, so it sounds like they're just going to shut him down for the time being. He did not practice today. Today's Thursday. He did not practice yesterday, so good start. So that's nice. The number one player, number one non-quarterback in fantasy, I don't have to worry about. Bad news is Rashee Rice is back from suspension. So I knew this the second he drafted him. I went and looked at the schedule, saw that we played in week 7, and was pissed off about it. But at least I'm not having to go against Nakua and Rashee. I could not overcome both of them, I'm telling you right now. So he still got Puka in the lineup. We know that's probably not happening. Actually, I don't see another. I mean, I guess you maybe throw Rashee in the wide receiver slot, and you move in like, I don't know, Tajay Spears probably. Not striking a lot of fear in my heart. I'm sure he'll pick up somebody and make a move before the actual game starts. He's still projected to beat me 116 to 110. Last week I was missing every wide receiver. Yeah, I got to start fucking Zay Flower. Quentin Johnson pulled his hamstring. Ricky Pearsall still hurt. Mike Evans did practice today. And with every other receiver on the Bucks being injured and pretty much confirmed not playing on Monday night, obviously opens the door for Mike Evans to come back in, take over that leading role. He needs 806 yards to get to his 1,000 and continue his streak. And against an extremely banged up secondary in Detroit, and Baker, who is just slinging the ball around, feels like a really good spot to eat into that deficit a little bit. Obviously, it's very doable. I think it's like 86 yards a game, which is, I mean, for a wide receiver one, it's doable. And if he can throw up like 200 this week, that'd be sick. Yeah, another thing I'm really excited about this week, we got Quinshon Judkins against the soft ass Miami Dolphins defense, who seem to be in sell mode. Saw some reports that they're looking to move Devon Achane. Yeah, I think that team is kind of, I keep thinking they've quit, and then they show a little bit of fight, and then Tua throws like 3 interceptions and they kind of quit again. But yeah, that game is in Cleveland. I think it's going to be a little cold. It's going to be raining. There's going to be like 60-mile-an-hour winds or something fucking ridiculous coming off the lake. So that's just a recipe for Quinshon to just down their throat all day. So really, really, really pumped about that. And two, when I look across the other side, and now the running backs are scary, don't get me wrong. It's Jonathan Taylor, it's Jahmyr Gibbs, it's terrifying. Jonathan Taylor has the Chargers defense, which is one of the better run defenses in football right now, when they're not injured. And I think they're very injured, so we'll see. But it's in, as far as teams that he could be playing, I'm fine with him playing the Chargers. That's one of the better options. Jahmyr Gibbs against the Bucks, terrifying, awful, terrible, don't want to see it. Yeah. That's pretty much it. I don't want to see that at all. Now, your hope here is that Christian McCaffrey can, if he finishes the game, he's getting 20 points. That's kind of what Christian McCaffrey does. He's gone 18, 19, 19, 23, 23, 20. Just the most consistent dude I've ever. It's fucking awesome, is what it is. Anyway. Yeah, so I talked about the wide receivers there. Anything else I see? Oh, I got Jalen Waddle this week, which actually, now that I was kind of excited to start him this week, but we're gonna be playing in 60-mile-an-hour stormy fucking winds. That kind of fucking blows. Actually, didn't even think about that. Rip, dude. Yeah, I mean, I think Andrew should win this week. I think there's a path for me to get back in there. Might even have to think about throwing Hollywood in for Waddle, and obviously we got to keep an eye on Evans. I think Winshaw's going to have a big week. I think Mr. Christian McCaffrey's going to get 20 points like he has the entire season. It's really going to come down to what Rashee Rice does and what he looks like out of the gate. And if he does what I think he's going to do, I'm in for not a great time. Big Monday night game here. Obviously a lot of Bucks, a lot of Lions. We talked about that. Yeah, I think Andrew should win. I think I can win, but Andrew should be a pretty heavy favorite there. Now, this one's going to be fun. Didn't even realize Tim and Dawson play each other this week. Obviously, the boys are coming up to St. Louis. I think you've heard about that. I'm picking them up from the airport tomorrow. So I will get to watch live as this game plays out. And let me see, do they have any Monday nights? Yeah, so I guess the game won't conclude while they're here. They both have kickers late on Monday night, which could be a good time. Obviously, we've seen that in the past with Dawson specifically. A nice kicker matchup. And then Tim's got Amon-Ra on Sunday night. Now we got two Thursday night players here, and I've been itching to talk about this Thursday night game because I'm honestly so excited for it. I think some people didn't believe me. I think it was maybe taken as a joke when I said it earlier about two geriatric men combining for 75 points. Not a joke. Absolutely think it's going to happen. We know what the Bengals defense is. We know how bad they can be. We know how bad they are. And I just saw an alert: Trey Hendrickson's not playing tonight. So your one good player isn't playing. Aaron Rodgers and DK Metcalf should absolutely just run through that Bengals defense. Now on the flip side, you got Flacco, who's now had 2 weeks to get familiar with the system. You've had him getting reps in with Jamar, getting reps in with T. He looked good enough against the Packers defense, who's been a little bit disappointing. I didn't even talk about them, but they've been pissing me the fuck off. But he looked good against a defense that can get after the quarterback, that has shown some promise this year. And the Steelers defense does not strike any fear in me. So I think T. Higgins could have a big night. I think Jamar Chase, when we get to him, obviously could have a big night. I think Chase Brown could have a good night. I think you start opening things up on the outside with Flacco, and all of a sudden, Chase Brown can run the ball again. It's going to be crazy to see that work. I'm actually really excited that Andrew or me do not have any players to go tonight, just to be able to sit back and watch this game, watch two legends of the position, get one last duel in an AFC North battle of all things too. Ugh. Incredible. Anyway, enough waxing poetic about Joe Flacco and Aaron Rodgers. Obviously, Tim's entire success and failures built off the back of the Eagles, who have had a pretty rough 2 weeks. Jalen Hurts is consistent. He's going to get you exactly 20 points every week. I think I mentioned this every week. But what's really been hurting is Saquon Barkley really not getting it done on the ground. He had 7.7 points last week. Has yet to break a 16.4 barrier when you're talking, which is good. I mean, out of a running back, you're not going to sneeze at that. But when you take Saquon Barkley and you count on him in a position that you thought you were going to get, where he was breaking 20 to 24 points every week, with a couple 30 burgers mixed in there, it's just not. It's not meeting the expectations that you had, especially when you kept him in the second round and maybe took a risk with your first round pick in Amon-Ra, who has been incredible. That game against Kansas City, that's a good defense. They kind of got the better of them, and things got out of hand a little bit. But other than that, I mean, you've had some really, really good performances out of Amon-Ra. And you're going to be in what I would think is going to be a shootout on Monday night with the Buccaneers. Of course, every time the Lions are involved, I say that, and then they just go on like 9-minute drives where Gibbs and Montgomery are breaking, 8-yard runs and bleeding the clock. It's so fucking annoying, dude. Bad. Throat got a little dry there. Anyway, yeah. So, but the Eagles get Minnesota this week. I don't even think I really mentioned who the fuck they're playing. And we've seen Minnesota's defense be pretty good. Now, where they are weak is in the run game, right? They're number 19 against opposing running backs. Their secondary is incredible. Their coverage scheme is notorious for being difficult to understand. They get after the quarterback, can run on him a little bit. And obviously that's where the Eagles want to live. That's what they want to do. Now, newly acquired Breece Hall, he gets Carolina this week. So he gets a little bit of a favorable matchup there in the defense. There's rumors that he may be on the move, but he's really the only semi-bright spot on that Jets defense. Putting together an okay season so far. The Denver game is what it is. You were overseas against a good defense. So I kind of expect him to have a bounce back, but you got them and he's got Cincinnati in the next week. So if there's a time for him to break out, it's going to be right now, or maybe he gets fucking traded and we don't hear from him again, or he's in Chicago or something. I don't know. Oh, dude, I forgot the video. I gotta show you all this. The video is the fucking fake punt where they put in you put the starting running back in the backfield on a punt. Of course it's a fake, dumbass. Like, what do you mean? Sorry, that play pissed me off. Anyway, on the other side, DeAndre Swift had a breakout game, and now he gets the Saints, so that's nice. It looks like the Bears run scheme has come alive a little bit. It looks like Ben Johnson got the boost he was looking for off the bye week. And DeAndre Swift looked good against the Commanders, who have been a good run defense. Their secondary's got question marks all over the place, but they have been a good run defense up to that point. And it was raining, like the run was pretty obvious, and they were still moving the ball. So you will see if that is a continued trend for DeAndre Swift, or if that was just kind of a one-off thing where the extra week to prepare really did help them. And luckily you've got, again, New Orleans, Baltimore, Cincinnati, the Giants, before you get the Vikings on week 11. So he's got a nice little stretch here where DeAndre Swift can all of a sudden become a legitimate weapon for Dawson. Now Bijan, there's nothing that really needs to be said about Bijan. I mean, he's Bijan. Obviously just had a monster week against the Bills. Sorry, I thought I heard my door open. I think it was AB going to the bathroom. Her bathroom's like right there. You can kind of hear it. Yeah, anyway. Right now, Dawson also has Drake May in the quarterback slot. Now, Baker Mayfield is there available for him. We'll see which direction he goes there. I would obviously go Baker. I think even with all the weapons missing, I mean, Detroit's secondary is just depleted, and now you got Brian Branch missing a game. So even if it is Tez Johnson and Sterling Shepard out there, A, he's shown he can do it. Doesn't matter. B, they're gonna get open against practice squad kids. So right now this is projected 108 to 106 in favor of Timothy. Yeah. I mean, I think obviously Bijan and Swift I think are gonna have big weeks. I think Saquon and Breece Hall can kind of keep up with them a little bit. Obviously they can. They're both extremely talented, but in terms of fantasy points, just so anything can keep up with them. And then I think the real separator is going to be the wide receiver room. DK and Amon-Ra have just sexy matchups. And in two games that look to be shootouts. T Higgins obviously is involved in one of those games as well, but he's your second fiddle, right? You would lean more big Jamar Chase game. But maybe T Higgins is the answer there. Maybe they triple team Jamar and T Higgins goes off. We've seen one good game out of Brian Thomas finally, but I'm gonna need to see him string a couple together before I start declaring things. So I will go with Tim to win this matchup. But look for that to be very close. I should also keep an eye out for predictions for lowest scoring starter. Right now, it's of the two games I've looked at, it's the Steelers defense. I think Joe Flacco might light him up. Let me just check my game and make sure. Packers defense could be in the mix. Colts defense against the Chargers could be in the mix, but probably I don't think the Chargers are putting up like 30 points. So right now it's the Steelers defense. All right, we got Cameron versus Clay. So 2 4-2s. The last one we had a 2-4 against a 4-2, so we could see some movement there. Two people at 4-2, and honestly, depending on how the rest of these games go, we have 2 games that could completely redo the top of the lineup here, the top of the standings, that is. But the first one, Cameron, who is still in first place, against Clay, who is in some place between 1 and 5. Now, we talked about. I mentioned Cameron being, I think, 10th, 9th in scoring. I do. Raleigh, I'm sorry, you keep catching ricochets here that you don't deserve. But Raleigh is still at the bottom. Cameron in 9th place. Now, in order to do that and be in first, you've obviously got to catch some breaks. Now, Clay obviously showed last week that his team is capable of laying some turds every now and then. He was in what should have been an easy blowout against me. Didn't really work out that way. He got the win. You never apologize for how you win. But the potential is in there, is what I'm saying. This week you're starting Danny Dimes against the Chargers. Now we got Dak Prescott against the Commanders on the other side. Commanders, I mentioned, a secondary with holes all over the place, and likely to get CeeDee Lamb back this week, which is obviously huge news for Cameron. And something I maybe haven't touched on the last few weeks when talking about Cameron's team is, luck is a part of fantasy football, right? It happens. But the reason Cameron's not scoring points is because he's been missing his first round pick in CeeDee Lamb, who legitimately I think is going to be one of the top scorers in football when he comes back. We've seen George Pickens has been, I would imagine, somewhere near wide receiver 1, 2, maybe 3 since CeeDee Lamb went out. Obviously I didn't pull those numbers, but I think he's wide receiver like 5 overall. So you would imagine since CeeDee Lamb's gone out, he's been in the top 2 or 3. And it's just something that thanks Clay for reminding us to do the dream team picks, which I will do. Fuck it, I might do them live. But that's something I haven't really discussed. Like, he's been missing his best player. So now you get that back. You're already in a position where you're leading the pack in terms of record and standings. So to have that spark plug put back in your team, this could become a dangerous team going forward. The CD Dak stack, I've talked about it. We obviously haven't seen it play out because of the CD injury and what happened there, but yeah, I mean that's I think it's going to be a giant spark plug to a team that really didn't need one. Like, you know what I mean? That being said, he is still starting Stephon Diggs in the lineup. So there's some other pieces you would like to see get short up there. Obviously, Ladd McConkey hasn't had the year that we maybe thought he would. Had kind of a breakout game with Quentin Johnston out of the lineup last week. We'll see if that continues or if that was just Quentin Johnston wasn't there. And Sam Laporta also had a pretty big breakout game last week, if you even want to call it that. I mean, obviously he was tight end 1 2 years ago, so like, breakout's a stretch, but breakout for this year anyway. And then we look at Clay's team, and there are some scary pieces, right? You got Deebo Samuel, who hasn't been 100%, and obviously it was raining like crazy on that Monday night game, so he laid a dud. This is his second of the year, and in fact his first was what got me to trade Deebo in the first place. But I don't expect that to be the trend, and especially you get a Dallas defense that is as exploitable as any in football right now. And then Roma Dunze obviously also had a pretty lackluster game. But once again, you're talking about just raining like crazy. And even Caleb, I mean, Caleb was putting up yards. It just, they weren't going to him. A lot of those were DeAndre Swift, a lot of Yak. Ooh, the Danny Dimes, Tyler Warren stack. I didn't even think about that. That's sexy. And then Kendrick Bourne. Kendrick Bourne had his breakout. Now, yeah, Juwan Jennings is practicing again. They did say he broke 5 ribs, which is fucking crazy. Ricky Pearsall still not back at practice. George Kittle coming back, I think, is going to cut a lot into those yardage. Now, if Mac Jones plays again, I think Mac Jones' chemistry with Kendrick Bourne is doing a lot of heavy lifting there. Obviously, they played together in New England, but he's had 142 yards in back-to-back games. So, you know, we'll see if that continues, or we'll see if George Kittle starts to eat into that a little bit, or if even Juwan Jennings can get a little bit healthier. Now, the website has this projected as a 107 to 102 victory for Clay. That being said, I think I actually am going to go with Cameron to get this win, and I think it's just going to be built off the Dak Prescott CeeDee Lamb stack against Washington. They should be able to throw the ball all fucking day. It looks like they're at home. Yep, they're in the dome. So I love that matchup. Look for 50 points from them alone. Bold prediction. It's not even that bold, but 25-25, 30-20. It's a good split. Yeah, I'm gonna pick my first upset of the week and have Cameron projected to take this one. And if I can get a lowest score prediction here for the Will, maybe Harrison Butker misses a field goal and ends -1, or misses an extra point and ends -1. That'd be really funny. Moving on to a little bit of a toilet bowl. We've got Charlie versus Raleigh. 9th place versus 10th. Yeah, I mean, just kind of brutal years for both of them. Like I said, Raleigh made a big trade this week, hoping to get a little bit of a jolt back in the lineup. You got George Kittle coming back in the tight end position. Which should help him out. I mean, it's not gonna hurt him. Cam Scatterbo looks like every bit of the real deal. He had 30 points, 3 touchdowns on that awesome Thursday night game. He does get a tough Denver defense this week. I do expect the Giants to kind of be in a little bit of a come down spot after the big emotional Thursday night victory, taking on your division rival. Now you got to go across the country into Denver and play that defense. You know, Scatterbo is probably good for a touchdown. Obviously, he can catch the ball. So he can make up for it, you know, a good run defense there, but obviously not projecting 30 points again. Now Chase Brown is going to be very interesting, because I do think this game turns into a shootout tonight. I mentioned that, talk about it extensively, and you know, it's a place where you'd hope, you know, obviously I'm going back to my Bijan days last year, very familiar with shootouts that where your running back just doesn't do shit. But you know, the pass game is going to be featured pretty heavily, and we've heard about Flacco being a little bit of a check down king. But I mean, these numbers are just kind of sad to look at when you have the kind of hype that Chase Brown had coming into the year. Had 1 touchdown in week 1, has not seen the end zone again, and has yet to break 10 points in any contest. So you're kind of just hoping on him to find the end zone, maybe get 17 receptions, man. I don't fucking know. Now on the other side for Charlie, you've got Javonte Williams, right? Javonte Williams has been one of the more feel good stories of the year. You know, the run defense from Washington, I talked about it. They got exploited a little bit with DeAndre Swift doing what he did on Monday night. But I kind of feel like this is going to be the like I say, I know I've said it's going to be the Dak show. I'm going to stand by that. Not to say that Javonte Williams is going to have a bad game by any stretch of the imagination. He's only had really 1 major dud this year, 2 games below 10 points. You know, he lost a fumble and didn't score a touchdown, but he's looked great, and he's you know, become the main touchdown scorer for them. We'll see if that continues with CD and a fully healthy receiving core. And then Kyren Williams against Jacksonville. I mean, Kyren Williams is just a usage machine. Jacksonville's defense much improved this year. The game is in London. So we'll see how that affects him. We'll see if jet lag leads to more fumbles. That's always been Kyren Williams' kind of Achilles heel, if you will. And then I don't know if I've even like really talked about Jackson Smith and Jigba this year on these videos, but the year that he's having is absolutely insane. Sam Darnold's looked really good. He's really just kind of carried over from Minnesota. I'm hand up. I did not think that would happen. I really thought Kevin O'Connell was going to be like the reason that he was succeeding, and I'm sure it had something to do with it. I'm sure playing with him for a year has really helped his case, but like Sam Darnold's fucking balling, man. and Jackson Smith and Jigba has been the main beneficiary of that. 162 yards and a touchdown last week, just absolutely insane. He's probably going to get the Derek Stingley treatment this week. I am interested in whether that's going to matter. I mean, he's a wide receiver that's on fire. I don't know there's many more wide receivers I'd take right now in fantasy than Jackson Smith and Jigba. I mean, I would probably take Puka, which even he is injured, but come on, it's Puka. I would probably still take Jamar Chase if I'm being honest, but like, and CD. I love CD Lamb, so I would take him. That's it. I mean, I'm sure you're gonna come through and mention several other people, but I don't know how many people I would definitively 100% take over Jackson Smith and Jigba right now. And then Tedero McMillan had his breakout against the Cowboys. Really his breakout was just he got in the end zone twice. He only had 29 yards, but he put both of his catches, or he had two of his 3 catches for touchdowns, so that's pretty sick. And then Bill on the other side, man. Bill fucking sucks. He's pissing me off in the Reddit league. He's I'm sure he's pissing off Charlie here. He's just not getting the ball, man. And then obviously he's fumbled now 2 weeks in a row, which is not a good look for a rookie. But yeah, I mean, he had the 2 touchdown game against the Chargers where he kind of popped off a little bit. You expected him against the Bears to have a big week. He didn't. I mean, if he doesn't do it against the Dallas defense, then I might be done with Bill, man. Now, the website has this projected for Raleigh to get his first win. And I think I'm going to agree with it. Raleigh, welcome to the winner's circle for the first time in 2025, man. I'm so happy for you. You finally did it. You're going to do it. Like, you deserve it, man. Nobody deserves this win more than you do. So go ahead and get the champagne ready for Monday night. Go ahead and pop it when Kaimi Fairbairn hits that 50-yarder and Jared Goff throws for 400 yards. Yeah, man. I'm really happy for you, dude. You absolutely deserve this. Congratulations. All right, and then last but not least, we have the other 4-2 matchup of the week. Another big separator game. We got Wade versus John. John currently holding the QB1 overall in fantasy football. Patrick Mahomes fresh off of another 3 touchdown game. 4 if you include his rushing touchdowns. So 4 total touchdowns this last week for him. I wish the website version showed cumulative stats so I could do this without adding. Hold on. 3, 7, 8, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15 total touchdowns this year for number 15. Yeah, big time there. It looks like Wade is still riding with Justin Fields. I mean, you live your life, man. He looks like shit. He's had good fantasy weeks though. He had week 1. Basically, it's can he break off for a long run at any point? And if he can, he's probably gonna have a good week. If not, well. I was gonna say he had 26 points and no rushing, but that was against Dallas, dude. I think I could put up 26 points against Dallas. Yeah, we'll see if him coming back to the US, playing the Panthers, can help him out a little bit. He's still riding high off of the Rico Dowdle train. 30 points in back-to-back weeks, 200 yards and a touchdown in back-to-back weeks. huge. I mean, you go from basically not playing to being running back 13 in the span of 2 weeks. Is fucking awesome. We'll see what happens when he's not playing the Cowboys, and also Chuba Hubbard's back in the lineup. On the other side, you got Rachaad White, you got Jaylen Warren. Rachaad White obviously filling in for Bucky Irving, which has been, I think, secretly kind of a nice I almost said revelation. That's not the word I'm looking for, but development for John, because you know, obviously Bucky Irving's a more talented running back. You'd like to have him in the lineup, but when it's just Bucky Irving in there, obviously you're getting your carries taken from Rachaad White. Dude, Rachaad White's getting fucking everything. I know Sean Tucker had a touchdown last week, but you know, Rachaad White's getting most of the work there, and just had really solid games the past 2 weeks. The Bucks are just on fire. So it's nice. And then Jaylen Warren against the Bengals tonight. I talked about it ad nauseum. I think that game's going to be a little bit of a shootout. And Jaylen Warren, as far as a running back that can exploit that, not unlike his counterpart on the other side. And then Devon Achane, who has been in some trade rumors. I'm sure you've all seen it at this point. He had 2 touchdowns last week, putting up 29 points, which shockingly was like RB5. I think it's last week was ridiculous for some running backs. Going against the number 1 running back defense in football in Cleveland. I talked about the weather. We'll see if the Dolphins can live up to that. We'll also see if Devon Achane gets traded at any point. Seahawks, so the rumor right now, which okay, Kenneth Walker, Zach Charbonnet, Devon Achane, great. Now the Wade will be the big beneficiary of the Puka news. Devontae Adams now basically the sole wide receiver in LA, in London, and going up against Jacksonville defense, which talked about being improved a little bit. Secondary still has question marks. So and Devontae Adams is savvy. Matt Stafford's great. You know, you're going to be able to exploit that. And then Jamar Chase, man. Jamar Chase in that matchup against Pittsburgh with old Joe Flacco at the helm. Yeah, man, I'd be nervous as fuck having to look at that across the other side. I'm sorry, John. And you know, John's got George Pickens, which you maybe he stays. You know, he kind of has that that chemistry with that going. Maybe that plays into it. Maybe CD coming back just opens things up more for George Pickens, and he can kind of hang with Jamar Chase. We'll see. I'm really interested to see that game and how it plays out, and which wide receiver becomes. You know, I think CD is obviously the more talented wide receiver, but George Pickens is really fucking good, dude. Like, you know, he was stuck in Pittsburgh with shitty quarterbacks for a while. So maybe the answer is CD just opens things up for George. Obviously he's still their deep play threat. I do think CD's just gonna eat receptions over the middle like he normally does. Drake London against San Francisco, and he just looked really good. Anyway, website has this projected 115 to 104. Despite all of what I just said, I am gonna go with Wade. I think Jamar Chase and Devontae Adams with no Puka taking receptions. It's gonna be a little bit too much to overcome. So yeah, I will go with I'm gonna go with Wade to win that one, which would mean next week you would have Wade and Cameron. Well, I guess Dawson could still win and stay in the mix there, and yeah, whatever. You get what I'm trying to say. Anyway, thank you all for joining today. For those of you that did, I think it's just John, who I don't even know if he's still here actually. But whatever, dude. It's just gonna go straight onto YouTube, man. And you guys get to watch the cute little kitten at the very beginning. Shit, what did I watch movies? Yeah, dude, I watched They Live, man. That shit was badass. So I mentioned it in the movie channel over there that it was Matrix, the Matrix for dudes with mullets in the 80s, and that is true. What is actually the difference between the two films? Obviously, a lot. You know, it's aliens, robots, whatever. But if you really want to boil it down to its core, it's the same story, except The Matrix was very obviously written by 2 trans women, and They Live was very obviously written by maybe the straightest man who's ever existed. And as I'm saying that, let me see if John Carpenter might have been gay. I don't think he was. Oh no, this guy's straight as fuck. Look at this. Yeah, that guy's straight as hell, man. Hell yeah. No, I'd be rejected. Hell yeah, dude. Yeah, fucking woke wouldn't let you succeed, bro. Yeah, so that's to me, that's the differentiator between those two films. Um, yeah, man, that shit was sick though. There's like a 30-minute fight scene in an alleyway. It's awesome. Um, I'm halfway through Altered States. It's a weird ass movie, but you like religious hallucinations and pretentious douchebags. That's a good one to check out. I'll let you know when I finish it. I've got like an hour left. So I'm watching it like on the bike. Let's see. Did I see anything else? Yeah, I watched The Exorcist and Rosemary's Baby. Couple horror classics. The Exorcist was incredible. I mean, Rosemary's Baby was really good too, but it's kind of like it actually. I'm just putting myself on a soapbox here. It really so one of my Hereditary is probably my favorite horror movie of all time. Maybe Silence of the Lambs, just depending on how you quantify them. But I definitely like watched Rosemary's Baby and was like, oh, that's where Ari Aster got the influence for Hereditary, right? Like the way that like kind of the dread of the situation is built, like the way that like there's never really like this scary moment, right? It's just here's a little piece of tension, and here's a little piece, and here's something else to stress you out. Oh, and by the way, this is going on. Oh, and hey, by the way, there's people back there. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's just until you get to the end and you're like, oh yeah, like, which spoiler for a 50-year-old movie, but you get to the end and it's all of a sudden it's just like, oh yeah, all of your fears were valid and your worst nightmare is coming true, and you were, spoiler, raped by the devil. So yeah, you actually should have been more scared the whole time. And then you never just like, you know, like that is a resolution, I guess, but you're kind of just like, man, that was just an hour and a half of anxiety for whatever. Anyway, great movie. You get what I'm saying. Fuck Roman Polanski though. We'll see y'all later. I might have talked about this last week because I think I said fuck Roman Polanski last week. Did I talk about Rosemary's Baby last week? Anyway, I've had time for it to stew. Actually, when did I watch it? I'm just dragging this out. I'm just waiting for this to be an hour. Y'all claim you like to hear me talk, so I watched that movie on October 10th, which was on Friday. No, I didn't talk about it. Yeah. Hell yeah, dude. Have a good week. Love you. Do I even actually know how to end this stream? I might just actually have to stay live forever.